Welcome to In the Zone. I'm the guy, Craig Zimmerman, and this is In the Zone number 6. I walked about 90 feet north of my property, and I got this guy, Paul Shonk, is here with me today. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
Yeah. This is our first foray into somebody that actually has some heavy artistic skills. So I applaud you for that.
Thanks.
Paul is known by many things. Let's name them off, or the stage names or bands that you're associated with.
BlueWaterPaul.com, or PaulShonk.com. I do solo gigs, and I have a band called Paul and Oates, and I have a new debut coming this Saturday with our Pretenders tribute band, the music of Chrissy Hines. We're going to be playing at the Salt Docks at 8 o'clock. On the River Road there at the end of Broadridge, and that's a new thing for us. Plan on doing that maybe once a month. It's a tribute, just playing someone else's music, and we always like the Pretenders, and so we thought, why not? Let's try it.
So now, when you do a tribute to a band like the Pretenders, is there a number of songs that you concentrate on? Because they've got a vast,
Yeah,
library.
We don't do the whole library. Right
Right.
now we've got about an hour and a half worth of material.
How many songs would there be?
It's
15?
probably about 15,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I know some of the Pretender songs, but give me some names of titles.
Well, the one that I always liked, that I always gravitated to, was My City Was Gone.
Yes.
Just because that bass line.
Yeah.
And I get to play
Boom.
bass in this band,
Yeah.
so I love that, you know.
Okay.
But, Back on the Chain Gang,
Yep.
Brass in Pocket, those are the big hits. Then Middle of the Road was a big hit. I'll Stand By You.
Yep.
And there's you think of the Pretenders, you don't think, oh, they didn't have any hits, and then we started
Right.
learning, we're going, man, they had a lot of
hits.
songs,
Yep.
So,
So you've got a pretty busy summer coming up.
yeah, doing a lot of solo gigs, doing a lot of Paul and Oates gigs. Got some stuff in the Plaza in St. Clair. Doing the Windjammer this Friday. That's my solo act. And yeah, I'm just staying busy. I have my last gig at the Anchor Bistro next Thursday, May 19th. And I do that mostly once they get the bands going in the Plaza. I don't play there because it's like the sound is competing with each other.
Okay.
So, but during the winter months, I play there every other Thursday as my work schedule allows.
Paul's full-time gig is working for Ford Motor Company.
I'm an auto worker.
Right.
Yeah.
And so just about every weekend night, you're somewhere.
Every other weekend.
Okay. So
Because my schedule is, I got this unique schedule where I work 2 days on, 2 days off, and you work every other weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But you can map it out, and I know if I know I get to sleep in the next day, I'll book a gig the previous
Right.
evening.
Okay. So you were playing at the Windjammer, as you mentioned. You were playing at AJ Salt Docks, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Riverview Plaza. I see the Moose is on there.
Yeah.
Gars is on there.
Gars just hired me to do some. We're going to do some patio gigs out in there. They got a new back patio.
Okay.
I'll be there. The first one is Sunday, May 29th. So come on down at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Hang out on the back patio.
Marysville Park, you're doing some.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, from the nuts and bolts of an entertainer, when you're doing, let's say, these 6 or 8 scenarios, how much advance scheduling do you make for yourself about what you're going to play or when you're going to play it, as far as what type of music?
When it's by myself, it's I'll just fly by the seat of my pants and just kind of read the audience, and I got my little iPad set up there to help me out because I got 300 songs on there and I can't possibly remember all
Right.
of the lyrics. And then I can kind of read the crowd. Is it an older crowd? I pull out some old standards, or is it a country crowd? I'll pull out some country tunes, or you can kind of read it. And I've got couple songs that always work that are my standbys.
What are those?
Run Around Sue works
Okay.
every time. Every time. That one in Tennessee Whiskey works
Okay.
every time. So those are my 2 main go-tos.
Well, if you look at what I'll call classic genre of rock and roll, there's just a lot to choose from too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can go through a whole litany of them. You got the Eagles, and I'm sure you play Eagles. And,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got I mean, you play Elvis, right?
Of course.
Everybody has to play a couple songs of Elvis.
Yeah.
Now, when you have your iPad there and you're playing, let's say, whether it's one of these venues we talked about, is there a program by which you choose a song and it's almost like a teleprompter?
It is a teleprompter. It's more like, we call it charts. You know,
Okay.
It's just a chart, and just give me cues. What the chord is at that word or whatever. And I make my own charts when I figure out the songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But will it actually roll them like a teleprompter?
It can.
Okay.
I prefer turning pages, so that
Okay.
way I don't get lost.
There you
The
go.
prompter, you look away, and then it's like, oh, where
am I?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. And so, when you talk about music, sometimes we talk in the front yard about music, and with the technology of the internet and YouTube and all this, when you get to thinking, or if it's in the middle of winter when you've got time on your hands, you can go down what I call the rabbit hole of watching this stuff, and you go from one YouTube to the next YouTube to the next YouTube. And I find it fascinating because there's a lot of bands out there you didn't know had this many hits, or like I went through some that, like, if you'd asked me 5 years ago about these bands, I would have probably forgot about them, but like the Guess Who and Burton Cummins, that's some classic music.
No Sugar Tonight.
Right.
Right.
And it really, and some of this is probably true with our age group, but some of that stuff doesn't get old, right?
If it's good, it's good.
Right, right. ELO with Jeff Lynne. Now, I sometimes will ask people when I'm out places about this band or band, like ELO yesterday, I brought it up to somebody, and 2-3 people looked at me like they didn't know who ELO was.
How old were they?
One was about 48 and one was about 30, right.
30 I can understand,
Right.
they don't get it. 48 they should know.
Right.
Yeah.
But the first thing I did is I pulled up my phone, ELO, I said, Turn to Stone, you know that?
Right. They probably knew Mr. Blue Sky,
Right.
because that's been in a million movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you look at, and again, it's going down the rabbit hole of with the technology of looking at this stuff, and you go, these guys have like a crazy catalog of songs, right? The Hollies,
Sure.
Long Tall Woman,
Long Cool Woman.
Long Cool Woman, yeah, there you go. Some of these songs, like I say, to me, they don't age. I mean, they're just constant, hits, if you will. I think one of mine, all times is CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, with John Fogerty.
Right.
And that guy has been playing music since the 60s.
Yeah.
And if you go to YouTube and you put it on there, maybe an interview, my memory could be off, but I'm pretty sure he played at Woodstock.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think he played at Woodstock, and it's the story goes that he told the story. I watched a video where they were supposed to go on at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and because somebody else went on some bender of a hallucinogenic, played till 2-3 in the morning. He didn't get on until 4 or 5 in the morning, right?
Right.
But I'm always enamored with these, say, people that are in music, like a Jeff Lynne or a Burton Cummins. These guys are now in their 70s, and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
So which sort of proves the theory: if you love doing something, you're never too old for it, and it's a passion. It's what you do.
And so much has changed with the way music is the way music was delivered when their careers were going on. Now everything is so, it's here and it's gone so quick. It's like, it'll be interesting to see in 20 years from now if the bands that are popular today will have that legacy that the bands of the 70s have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. What's your favorite band? Or bands?
Oh, there's so many. I just love a good song. I don't have a favorite. I loved NXS. I just watched this new documentary on NXS it was on Prime on Amazon, and it was kind of a cheesy movie, but every now and then they cut to a live performance that was really them from the backs of them. You knew it was really them, and that was a great movie. They had such great songs. It all came down to the songs, even though Michael Hutchinson was the focal point of that band. But that was a good movie.
Did you watch the movie on Queen?
I did.
Pretty cool movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like the story about Bohemian Rhapsody and that whole, theory of what the song became and how Freddie Mercury wrote it up. And for our viewers that don't memorize it or know, but Bohemian Rhapsody, I think, is one of the longest songs in the history of music.
Popular music, probably. They probably didn't want to play it because it was so long.
And that's what they said. They said the agents came back and said, nobody will ever play this song. Would it be like 12, 15 minutes?
I don't even know.
It's long.
Yeah.
But they said that nobody would play it. Nobody will play that long because they want to go to a commercial or another song. Mm-hmm. And Freddie Mercury supposedly said, no, that's staying, or we're not doing it. And he turned out to be right.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Amazing to see that the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones are amazing that they're still alive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Are they?
That's another one. I think the Rolling Stones are now, the remaining Rolling Stones are about 80. Is that about right?
I think
pretty
so,
close.
yeah.
The sheer fact that they're still above ground is an amazing thing. Some of the things they've done. Do you play much Rolling Stones?
I do a few, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you want to tell us about music that you want to pass the word on?
I have some originals I'd like people to listen to.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go to my website, paulshonk.com, and there's a link to my YouTube page, and I've got some songs on there that, I've spent some time on. About 10 years ago, I put out a CD that's available on iTunes, and just, that's what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be a writer, and I ended up more doing the cover thing, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you always dream about getting that chance to do your own stuff. And so I still dabble in it,
Yeah.
But finding time to really push forward with that. Well, nowadays you can, throw stuff online and maybe it'll catch fire or something, I don't know.
Well, the amazing thing, and we talked about it before, but some of this stuff is that your skill, I think, is good enough, and it's just some of these people that are, doing it for a living or famous or whatever, it just happened to be the right place at the right time, and the right person heard them.
Right.
Because I don't, it's like, I'm not a big fan necessarily of these shows, of the music ones where they put all the amateurs on there. There's several of them. America's Got Talent, and what's the other couple?
American Idol.
American Idol and those. Not that I'm not a fan, but it's interesting. I always say, if they've got 10 people that filter through to the end, who's to say that somebody's number one?
Right, it's all taste.
Yeah.
It really is. It's interesting how, to me, that how The Voice really hasn't had any of those people that have won. Nobody's really become a huge star.
Right.
Like American Idol, they did in the beginning.
Right.
Now the last few seasons, it's hard to,
Right.
I don't know how many people follow it like they did in the beginning.
Right.
But
there are some famous names today that came from the early ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amazing thing too is that the one I always think of as a famous name, if you would have just played a song, I don't think he would have won. I don't think he would have won one of those shows. Willie Nelson.
Oh right. Right. Oh yeah.
He's recognizable, number one. We know that, and he's pretty good at it. But it's not a sound that you would have said.
Imagine Neil Young on one of those shows? One of the greatest songwriters of our time, and they were like, they couldn't get past that voice.
Right.
But,
yeah. It's amazing how that is. But you can't even, like, if you put those two guys on that show, would they have even made it past the first or second week? Right.
Who knows?
Who knows? Right. Yeah. Who knows exactly? We talked about playing a song here, and we'll try to do this with our technology of get your guitar over here and play your song. The song that you've got on the front of your web page, and I didn't write it down.
I know some things.
Yeah. I like that one.
Well, thanks.
You want to play that for us?
Sure.
Okay. Let's grab it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to have Paul Shonk play his original I Know Some Things on CTV6. Listen.
Somewhere in the middle is where I feel best. Far from the crazies on the extreme right and left. Just the facts could give us a clue. I'm so tired of people spreading what ain't true. I know some things. I know some things. I know some things that you say and oh, they just ain't true. I know some things. I know some things. Yeah, I know the things you spread and oh, they just ain't true. No. Just the facts could be the new spin. Political leanings and the anger begins. News groups give us their biased views. Left or right, which tribe do you choose? I know some things. I know some things. I know some things that you say and oh, they just ain't true. I know some things. I know some things. Yeah, I know the things you spread and oh, they're not quite true, no. Infodemic during a pandemic, fixing facts and falsehoods, shaking off the neighborhoods. We're so divided. Truth could unite us. I'm so tired of unsound things we watch and read. I know some things. I know some things. Yeah, I know the things you spread. Oh, they're not quite true. I know some things. I know some things. Yeah, I know the things you're saying. Oh, they ain't quite true. I know some things. I know some things. Yeah, I know that you're lying 'cause your lips they move. I know some things. I know some things. Yeah, I know the things you spread and oh, they ain't quite true, no.
Tremendous, tremendous. I just wrote some things down, Paul. And what's amazing about that's like a microcosm of our news.
That's it, man. That's what's.
That's about what it is.
I was just being on Facebook one day. I was like, I've had enough.
I know some
You're
things
all full of it.
that just aren't true. Just the facts, yeah. So Paul's going to be at the Windjammer this Friday.
This Friday, yes.
So the Windjammer is in
Lexington. Yep.
And it's all somewhat redone, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay. And then Saturday night at AJ Salt Docks with Hindsight, the Pretenders Tribute Band.
Yep.
And if you want to know where Paul's going to be, we go to paulshonk.com.
Correct.
And it's SHONK.
The easy way to remember it is bluewaterpaul.com.
There you go. You can catch Paul's listing of all of his dates coming up for the summertime.
Yep.
And if you don't see him at the Windjammer or AJ Salt Docks, you can see him in Anchor Point Bistro, Riverview Plaza, the Moose, Gars, Marysville Park, and a few more.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for coming by to In the Zone, Paul. We'll probably have you back sometime after summertime and see what's going on in the music scene.
All right.
Thanks,
Craig.
Yep.
Good to be in the zone.
Thank you.